Hi, I'm Kim, the audiobook reader, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are starting, I think, week 5 vlog. Definitely started a trend of starting off at the library. So I played my Battleship game, and there was a couple of books that I wanted to pick up today to see if I can read along while I listen. Ooh. Okay, I'm back. A friend just pulled up next to me at the library. Perks of living at a small town. Anyways, I picked up 2 books from my Battleship game. One is, no, well, I guess only one of them is from the Battleship game, but it's The Color Purple by Alice Walker. And this is for the prompt Letters or Diary. And then the next book, I don't think I got into my TBR game, but this is Shameless. I'm pretty sure this is nonfiction. This is a by Nadia Bolz-Weber. And I'll let you guys, the Color Purple, I got the narration. I saw that there were 2 different narrations, and the narration I got was from Alice Walker herself. I thought that would be nice to hear the author read it. And then Shameless, I'm not sure who's reading that, but we shall see. And I'll let you know more about it because I really know nothing about this book. So, alrighty, I'm gonna go home, edit some videos, and clean. I did get to walk doggies, and today was an absolutely gorgeous day, even though it was a little chilly, but it was sunny out, and so grateful that I get to go walk those dogs, and it got me outside with some fresh air. So, alrighty, take care. Bye. Okay, well, it's Wednesday, February 3rd, so I've sort of missed Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Yeah, so I'm really great at this vlogging thing, but I did want to pop on and let you know some books that I finished, because I actually have finished a lot of books since the last time. So I think the last vlog we ended that I was reading Stepsister by Jennifer Donnelly, and that was narrated by Jayne Entwistle. I enjoyed this book. It's a fairy tale retelling, and I know in the last vlog I kept saying storybook retelling, which annoyed me to no get out while I was editing, but it's a fairy tale retelling. And it's basically following the ugly stepsisters after Cinderella is whisked off to the ball and marries the prince. So we're following Isabel, and she is trying to find the pieces of her heart so she can be a better person. So there's a bit of an adventure. It took me a few chapters to get into it, but overall, by the time we really started to get into the adventure, I really enjoyed the book, and the narrator, I think she did a great job as well. The next book that I finished, and this was at the very end of January. So I had Cursed, and I was like, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this on my February TBR. I had this on my bookspin thing, but I figured if this number came up, I will pick the 3rd book in the series. So anyways, very much enjoyed this. So this is by Benedict Jacka. I'll just put a picture. So this is by Benedict Jacka, and it's narrated by Gildart Jackson. And here we're still following Alex Vertus. This is the 2nd book in the series, and in this book, he comes to know about a forbidden ritual that is being done. And basically, the people are sucking the magical, or harvesting the life force out of magical creatures, and then plan on trying to do it to humans. The problem is once you harvest their magic, they die. So he gets involved, and then as he gets involved, his friends, who we meet in the first book, Luna and Arachnia, and his other friend. Anyways, they all come back in. They're all affected, and so it was just a nice little adventure of him trying to find out who done it. There was one part in the book. It was kind of the middle, so it wasn't the end, but it sort of felt like the Scooby-Doo, like, let me explain everything I'm doing, which was fine. He wrote it. It was fine, but it kind of made me chuckle a little bit because I feel like it's like those like old gumshoe kind of shows, or the British shows where it's like, now let me explain 5 to 10 minutes on my whole plan and how it's coming together, and oh no, it's been foiled. So but the book kept going on, so I still really enjoyed it. Definitely going to go on with the series. I also, in the last 4 days, filmed my TBR Battleship game and found out a couple books that I was going to read for that. And the next book I read was A Chance in This World. Let's see, it's actually called A Chance in This World, An Orphan Boy, A Mysterious Past, and How He Found a Place Called Home. And so technically, I listened to this in January because I filmed my TBR, so I knew, and I just wanted to get started after I had finished Cursed. And so I think I finished it like on the 31st of January, even though it's a February book. I don't know. Am I cheating? Who knows? Anyways, it was a book I had forgotten about, and I enjoyed it. This was also, it's a story about Steve Pemberton, and it was narrated by Steve Pemberton, and he was put into the foster care system and just had a horrible experience. It's amazing after thing after thing that happened to him, that he came and survived. Sorry, there's like text messages going off on my phone. Anyways, he was mixed black. He's still alive. He's black and white, but had like fair skin black and blue eyes, and he had a different last name, like Kowalski or something like that. And so he just had a lot of questions about like, where did he come from? Like a, black, blue eye Kowalski last name. And it was just his journey, and it was inspiring. It was really sad at points. Obviously, definitely trigger warnings for abuse. But it was inspiring to see just how he grew from it, and just knowing with trauma, I'm sure it's always going to affect him in his whole life. But it was an interesting read. The next thing I read was Black Crow. So I finished, I guess, on the 1st. I started Black Crow Right Snow, and this was for my prompt Black and White. And it was just a 2.5-hour audio book on Audible. I did not like it. I had to start re-listening to it several times. Let's see, this was read by Janina Edwards, who actually read A Royal Holiday and is going to be reading A Wedding Date. And it was quite interesting. Her narration between A Royal Holiday by Jasmine Gulroy and Black and White, it was almost like it was two different authors. Her accents were very different, so that was kind of cool to see her range of ability to narrate. So I liked her narration. The book itself, I sort of felt like, and I know it was a short book, but sometimes it was just a couple hours, so like a novella or something, but I felt like I was dropped into a middle of a book, and then it took me like an hour and a half to get into it, and by the time I was like, oh, okay, I understand what's going on, I understand this adventure of them finding some magic or something like that, and then it ended, and I was like, but wait, what? So I don't think it was developed all that well, and I know short stories, that can be hard, but definitely not my favorite. And I got this as a free book when Audible was doing the 3 or 2 free monthly books or something like that, so I wouldn't recommend it. I didn't really see much. There's so much other out there. So that was by Michael Livingston. So Black Crow, White Snow. So I finished that. Then yesterday, I decided to start listening to The Color Purple, which I picked up at the library. And I also listened to it. And this was narrated by the author as well. So Alice Walker. She did an awesome job. I'm so glad. I think the other narrator, I don't know her name, but she sounded like she was going to do a great job as well. But I just figured I wanted to hear the narrator narrate her book, and it was great. I read this book in high school. I remembered nothing about it. It was like a completely brand new book to me. So if you have read this, I would love to talk about it. Here we're following Celie, who is basically, I mean, not sold, but her father kind of gives her away to the mister to marry and kind of take care of his kids. And the story between her and her sister Nettie. So it's all written, so this was for the prompt, written in letters or diaries. So it starts off with her writing to God, so dear God or God. And then later in the book, it starts with Celie and Nellie writing back and forth, kind of, sort of. Anyways, I enjoyed it. Made me tear up in places. Got me angry in places, so it gave me all the feels. I guess the one, I'm going to give it 4 stars. The one downside about it is I feel like the end was like, with the type of book that it was, I feel like the end was like tied up in a bow a little bit too pretty for me. But yeah, so I think those are all the books that I've read so far this week. That is my 11-minute update. So hopefully I can edit some of that out, maybe. I don't know. But so vlog 1 of day 1 of my vlog, halfway through. So yeah. Alrighty, I will catch you later. I'm back. It's still Wednesday. I'm a little behind. I was waiting so long for the 31st so I could find out what my Booktube spin challenge was book, but I wanted to record it, so I haven't watched it yet. So I figured we'll get my reaction to see which book we're gonna read. So we got Rick, and we're gonna, sorry. So let's click on Rick's channel here.
Okay, ladies and gents, here we are for the inaugural Booktube spin. So just in a few seconds, I'm going to spin the wheel. You're going to take the number, go back to your list that you made, find out the book that corresponds to that number, and that's the book that you have to read over the next 2 months. But before I get to that, I just want to say thank you for everybody who participated in this. I thought this was going to take a couple of rounds before people kind of got into it, if they got into it at all.
There were a lot of people who did it.
It was received so well this first go. It was way bigger and more kind of comprehensive.
Okay, I am actually not going to let you hear what the number is. So I'll let you know my book so you can actually probably figure it out if you look at my list. But you can go to Rick's channel and watch it if you want to know what number it is. Okay, let's see.
And we're gonna land on number...
Oh! Okay, so we got number, and let's take a look at my list and see what that was. Oh no! We got the Count of Monte Cristo. Okay, so I obviously have been wanting to read this book. I'm just a little intimidated by the book. It's a long book. So I guess it's good that I have short books on my TBR this month. I do have 2 months to read it. And, oh, let me see. Give me a second. Okay, I have this book already, and there are so many narrators of this book. I don't know. There's at least 3 different ones, and I really wasn't sure which one to get. Like there was Bill Homewood, Jim Lee, or John Lee, David Case, B.J. Harrison. So yeah, I got this last year at some point when I knew I wanted to read this. So my narrator for this book will be Bill Homewood. So there we go. I guess I got my first Booktube spin, and yeah, I'm excited for it. Obviously, I wouldn't have put it on the list, but I think it's kind of funny that that's what book came up for me. So thank you, Rick, for letting me I don't know, start this book finally. So okay. Hi. So it is Saturday, February 6th. I'm about to start the day, but I wanted to check in and close out this weekly vlog before I start next week's. I did finish one more book. I started and finished yesterday Shameless. It was a really fast read. I'm still wrapping my mind around it. So it's by and read by the author, Nadia Bolz-Weber, and she is a pastor in Denver. So she's the pastor at House for All Sinners and Saints. And she talks about just like sex reformation, and, you know, things that were told to her, and her congregation. She mentions at the very beginning that all of her stories and everything is just from her congregation. But yeah, my mind, there was a lot that I agreed with, some that I'm not so sure about. She seems like a very nice lady for sure, and a very kind and sweet lady, and definitely has lived through a lot. It was fun to listen to it while reading it because she has pictures in here. Like this here is one day they her congregation wrote on post-it notes like things that they feel about themselves a lot. Things like I'm not worthy, you know, I'm fat, things like that. And then I'm not enough, I'm a failure, I will never be loved for who I am, I'm fat and don't deserve to be loved, I'm mediocre. And then they took the post-it notes and burned them. And then someone said, we really should have brought marshmallows. So anyways, so yeah, it was fun to kind of listen to it and read along with it. I definitely could listen to it usually when I listen to books, I'll start off at a slower speed and then like speed it up as I get used to the narration, but it was totally fine. I think I listened to it at 1.8. Anyways, so now that this was like almost 3 minutes long, but I'm gonna close out this week's vlog. You named it, about to go walk doggies and go to the library. So I have another book that came in this week from my TBR, and I started the Count of Monte Cristo. So that was my spin the wheel book, and I thought I knew this story, but I don't. So I'm listening to it basically at normal speed at this point, because with all of like the accent, so he almost Bill, the narrator, he almost, I think, sounds British, but is also doing like a French accent. He does a great job with different voices, but since names are also not things that names that I'm used to hearing, I have to kind of like go back and re-listen at times I'm like, wait, what happened? So I'm glad I have 2 months to get through this book. So yeah, alrighty. So have a beautiful week. Bye.